Hi everyone, this is Yulia and you're watching Why Change channel. Today I want to talk to you about the really important topic about business analysis function in your organization. We want to discuss how to build up your analysis function, how to create the business analysis center of excellence, and how to foster BA mindset in your organization. Now you may wonder, why is BA mindset even important? What does it have to do with my company? Maybe we don't do so many technology projects. However, business analysis is necessary for all kinds of enterprise projects, for different types of enterprise change. So if you think about it, why business analysis is needed for your company? Because if your company makes changes, if you engage in any initiative that changes something within your organization, you probably need business analysis. Because business analysis is about enabling effective change through determining what needs to change, through making it very clear what are the requirements, what are the objectives of the organization, and that makes it so much easier to determine a detailed plan of how to get there, whether it's through technology changes, process improvements, organizational changes, product changes, or any other, and most likely the combination of those. So business analysis and function helps you to determine what is required to change based on analyzing of the current needs and problems and pain points, and creating a shared understanding of that among everyone who will be involved in the change. And if you think about your organization, the change happens in different ways, and it can take many different shapes or forms. Some organizations change slowly, and there's lots of approvals and red tape and discussions and multiple levels of committees. So it's a slow process of change, and maybe it's slow but pretty wide, right, and significant when it actually happens. In other organizations, changes can happen pretty fast, right? They just roll down at fast speed because there is no time to lose. In some organizations, changes may not be necessarily direct. They may take that meandering approach, maybe twists and turn, and maybe we try this direction or another direction, or even stay still for a moment figuring it out. So change does not happen very straightforward. In other organizations, the change can be fast and furious. It cascades down, taking everyone with them. So there is many different ways you can see change happen and be implemented. However, all of those changes still need business analysis to be successful, right? So you need to understand, where are we going? Why are we going there? How we will measure success? What are the details of what we need to see in that future state? And all of that is part of what business analysts do, and what business analysis as a function, as part of your initiative is about. So achieving business analysis can be so hard. And you may ask, why is it so hard? And there's lots of research done that shows that the success of project, the success of those changes is so dependent on the quality of business analysis, on the quality of requirements, which really comes down to, are we all clear? What are we doing? And why are we doing it? And do we understand where are we going? That vision of that future state where we want to be. Does everyone have the same understanding? Is everyone on the same page? Otherwise, you're having all these different groups of people in your organization potentially going different ways. Their deliverables will not always be synchronized. Their understanding of where they're going may differ. And as a result, the change is not going to be successful. So why is it hard to achieve quality business analysis? And of course, today we're going to talk about what can we do about it. And whether you are a manager, an executive, a senior business analyst, you can help and you can contribute, or you can guide and set the pace for how to make business analysis more effective. It doesn't necessarily mean more people, but it means better ways of doing things. And that's the focus for this video. So why is quality analysis so hard? Many reasons, and I've collected here a few reasons that I've heard throughout the years through talking about this at conferences and webinars and with individual executives and people who are working in business analysis, through mentorship circles. There's many different sources, but if you look at it, and why is it hard for a business analyst to do their job? Why is it hard for a project manager to get that quality analysis done on time? Why is it hard for an executive to rely on their team figuring out the direction and executing change to the end? What are potential problems? First of all, sometimes if you go back to business people who articulate those requirements, who have problems and needs, they don't always necessarily know what they want clearly. Sometimes the opinions different. Sometimes the vision of the future state differs. Maybe different groups of people have different expectations. So there is sometimes that a little bit vagueness about where do we want to go and why. And even if your organization is planning to implement an off-the-shelf software, still articulating what goals you want to achieve using that software, sometimes there are some difficulties with expressing that. So first of all, we need to be clear what we need from business perspective. Stakeholders keep changing their mind, and that's one of those frequent complaints and frustrations of someone working as a business analyst, that we thought we have agreed on it and then suddenly there is change, or someone has a different opinion, or we discover something new that we didn't know before, and what we thought was a very clear requirement and we've already developed it, we're already in testing, suddenly there is this big shift and we need to rework. So that's another problem. How do you deal with changes? Is this a true change, or is this just a frequent prior misunderstanding that we are now trying to correct, and how to deal with stakeholders changing their mind? Another complaint we often hear from either business analysts or designers or developers is stakeholders will ask for a Cadillac and they don't use it. So sometimes there's this heightened expectation of what the change is supposed to achieve or what the system is supposed to do. You want those bells and whistles and amazing features, but really they're not necessary, they're not required, and they slow the process down, or they may grind it to a halt. IT people don't understand us, and that's what business stakeholders sometimes will say, that IT people don't listen to us, they don't get it, they misinterpret what we mean, and as a result we get the product or system or solution that is not really working for us. Requirements are taking too long. A project manager or an executive may complain, hey, I don't need all this business analysis, it just slows my project down. Your requirements are taking too long. Why do you even need those requirements? Just go ahead and build something. And if you've worked in this industry for a while, you know what it usually leads to. And usually the result is not that great. And finally, and that's another reason, we keep losing good business analysts. Someone in a managing position may say, oh, we had this great analyst that all started well and then they left. Or they switched jobs. So sometimes organizations even struggle with keeping good business analysts. And why business analysts leave? It could be because lack of methodology or lots of pressure on them to do things that they're outside of their area of expertise, or it could be that they don't get enough support or they don't feel valued. There's many reasons, again, why you would lose a good business analyst, and then it's very hard to find another one, because learning to be a business analyst, developing that BA mindset, and on top of it, learning your organization so that you can be more effective takes time. So if you're in the middle of the project, it can be very painful to lose your lead business analyst and scrambling to replace them. So why we want to talk about it today is because all of these various reasons I described here, they're all related to business analysis maturity of the organization. How is your company adapted to implementing changes by being very, very mature in determining requirements, in planning change, in scoping it right, in supporting it, in providing the right resources, and as a result in making that change more successful. So honestly, a lot of it comes down to maturity of organization that needs to be developed. And we'll talk today about various ways for your organization to develop that business analysis maturity. And BA mindset is a huge, huge part of it. Now, let's talk about those professionals that you need for that business analysis maturity. You're talking about business analysis professionals. Now, your organization may or may not call them business analysts. There are different titles involved. They may be process improvement experts. They may be system analysts, IT analysts. That business analysis family is pretty broad, but we really talk about professionals that help enterprise to define and implement changes. So these individuals support business analysis process through various activities. They do it because they're motivated, they want to see the success, they use a lot of information, they use their experience, and they use their research to help them conduct business analysis. They engage other people in doing that. There are certain outcomes and deliverables that they have to produce. To do that, they rely on their knowledge, skills, training, tools, and techniques of business analysis profession. And they need to do it with BA mindset, with that attitude about how to implement changes well, how to understand business needs, and what is important to make them successful. So all of these different components of having a quality BA professional, this is what you need to build up in your organization. Your mature organization supports business analysts in being able to do those activities, to gain the knowledge, to get more skills and training, to use their tools and techniques, to be motivated, to receive the right information, right? To grow their experience and to deliver those products of business analysis that actually will be relied upon to implement those changes. So as your organization wants to implement projects successfully, they need to invest in building a mature business analysis practice. It could be as part of your overall change management methodology or software development methodology or project methodology. It's not necessarily separate, it's part of those bigger concepts, but business analysis cannot be forgotten, because then you will be losing a big part of like that pillar, one of those important pillars, along with project management and along with executive leadership, that makes your change successful. All right, so what is a business analysis practice? A business analysis practice is a group of professionals organized to maximize opportunities to grow in maturity. So opportunities for mentorship, for sharing of knowledge, for sharing skills, for sharing best practices, and most importantly, to facilitate requirements reuse across enterprise. Because your individual projects will not be completely fully unique in terms of business requirements you define for them. There will be overlaps because it's all part of the same organization. So there will be requirements reuse. There will be common business rules. There will be certain enterprise standards, architecture standards, etc., etc. There will be shared definitions of processes, of personas or actors, and much more. Okay, so a lot of these artifacts must be shared, not just can be shared, but must be shared. And if you have the group of business analysts that collaborate and that share information, there's a much higher chance that will actually happen. So part of you building that maturity is building a business analysis practice. How do you do that? Think about multiple, again, legs on that chair, the multiple pillars that are needed for you to build a practice. One of them is supportive culture. Okay, what does it mean? You want to promote the role of business analysis so that team members, executives understand who is this business analyst, what are they supposed to do, why are they on the project. So sometimes there's a little bit of education and support, and even promotion is needed. For example, an executive during kickoff or explaining in introductions, because sometimes it can be hard for a new business analyst to, say, insert themselves into a project if the rest of the stakeholders haven't really worked with a business analyst before. So you do need to continuously promote the importance of business analysis. Start a business analysis community of practice. Could be very formal, less formal, completely informal, could be grassroots. Ideally, you want to have some managerial support, but having some conscious effort of how to build that practice, it really helps. It could result in some meetings, in a shared area, and maybe planned activities. So some things that give it a little bit of shape and help to propel it forward. You want to develop a culture of sharing, including sharing of information between business analysts, sharing of artifacts such as diagrams and glossaries and business rule repositories, and sharing information from project to project, because when projects work in isolation, this is another reason where you will have breakdowns or divergence or systems that suddenly don't talk to each other and nobody even realized that this is going to happen. Don't equate business analysis with IT, with information technology. And that's very important, right? In some organizations, especially from legacy perspective, business analysis was often part of an IT organization, which is not necessarily the right way to do it. There's, again, different approaches. Business analysis could be part of project management office. It could be part of business. It could be a little bit of an independent center of excellence that collaborates with each groups. But business analysts are not just IT professionals, okay? It's a special area where you are helping IT and business stakeholders communicate, but you need people who are interested in business, who are learning about business, who understand business processes, who have good relationship with business stakeholders. So it's not just part of IT, okay? So it's important to know this and important to, again, promote this in your organization. You want to develop your business analysis methodology. What does that mean? First of all, change management methodology needs to be consistent. So whatever your organization practices, because business analysis truly enables change management, you need to include business analysis as part of the methodology. And again, I'm using change management as a very broad term because change could be software development, could be off-the-shelf product implementation, could be process change, could be any other type of change, right? It's really, really wider than just development of new systems or making changes to software applications. You want to create clear expectations of business analysis deliverables. So what do you expect from your business analyst or business analysis practice? Is it documentation, backlog, diagrams, models, catalogs, facilitation of meetings? And I do have a whole big video focused on business analysis outcomes and deliverables. Have a look at that. And you need to be clear as an organization or as a person who manages business analysis function or project management function in your company. What do you expect? So those business analysts, what do they deliver, right? And that really helps them to be more standardized and more focused, and with clear expectations, you can expect more results. Share standards, templates, and best practices. Again, those are developed as part of your methodology or you're using some standard methodology. Share those and make sure that everyone is using them, and then it's easier to create that reuse. And again, even if you hire a new junior business analyst, it's so much easier for them to start delivering, to start producing quality results if they have these standards and templates. So your job, if you're managing business analysis or you're helping to promote business analysis, you care about the success of change, is you want to focus on methods that you use, right? Tools are good, and you can provide your business analyst, with, access to Jira or Microsoft Visio, Lucidchart, or any other tools. Those are very good and very important, but they don't replace methodology, right? You still need to understand when and what instances we use those tools, and methodology is more important and more fundamental to success. Training, mentorship. You cannot just learn business analysis in college or in a training program and come in and know exactly what to do. It is really, especially if you think about that BA mindset, you really need a lot of experience. How do you facilitate a difficult meeting? You need experience. How do you actually develop this diagram so that it makes sense? Well, and a couple of good pieces of advice from a senior business analyst will help you. So training, mentorship, coaching play a huge role in the growth of your BA professionals. So provide time and funds for learning, and maybe you do need to send your business analyst on a course or support them in being a member of a certain mentorship group, or attending classes or attending a conference. So giving them an opportunity to learn is very important, and as an employer you might need to fund that. Experimenting with different ways of learning and gaining experience. It could be a secondment to another project. It could be job shadowing, like junior analyst shadowing a senior analyst. It could be staff swap. It could be sending your business analyst that specializes in one type of projects to another projects, seconding them to data governance team for a couple of months. So there's many ways to do it, and all of these help to expand their horizons and train them and give them more experience in the whole enterprise function, right? And understanding how different parts of your enterprise work, and which you never know on your next project could prove very crucial. Bringing in domain knowledge through reskilling and upskilling. So often you hire business analysts from outside, and then they don't necessarily know your domain and they need to learn more about your business. And sometimes you don't have time for that. Another approach is you use your own employees from other areas of organization that already have domain knowledge. Reskill and upskill them. Teach them business analysis. Again, send them on a training course. Because some professionals from other areas could have the BA mindset in them. They're good at analysis. They understand the concept. They may be doing some business analysis activities. Maybe their main job is in operations. But if you bring them into fold of business analysis practice by giving them that training opportunity to learn practice, you may actually grow your business analysts in-house, and they already have that domain knowledge that you really need. Create a learning library. Could be electronic library, books, courses, templates, articles, whatever you have. Even a little physical library shelf with some books on business analysis can really promote the importance of business analysis, because hey, we even have books on it. That must be something useful. Supporting and rewarding mentorship. This is huge, again, because if you have a senior business analyst, your junior can learn a lot from them. But if your senior business analyst is so overloaded with all the projects that they absolutely don't have time, then you have a dilemma. On one hand, you want your junior business analyst to learn more. On another hand, who is going to teach them? So if this person, the senior person who could be a good mentor, is overloaded or feels they have absolutely no benefit, they don't gain anything from providing mentorship, it may never happen. So you need to, first of all, allow for some time for that mentorship, so a little bit of leeway. And again, it could be achieved through job shadowing, right, where a junior person actually helps a senior with some of the tasks and in turn receives mentorship. But you also need to reward mentorship, right? You encourage you, maybe through performance appraisals, through certain career goals, or whatever works in your organization. Because if that person feels motivated to provide mentorship, they will do it. It is actually rewarding to them as professionals, because they feel their value. Maybe they receive satisfaction from teaching someone else. You have that valuable coaching provided to your junior person, but you do need to foster that, right? It doesn't necessarily happen by magic. Facilitation, another huge area where business analysis, to be successful, must be based on creating that collaborative environment in meetings and workshops and discussions. And again, your company needs to be very deliberate about teaching facilitation skills, encouraging good facilitation in meetings, building up that culture of the meeting, the workshop that is actually working and thinking and functioning. Think about all of those useless meetings or meetings that become a waste of time where nothing really is achieved. Those are huge like time sinks, right? They just absorb the time. They don't give you anything back. They're very expensive if you think about all the people participating in them. And again, if you had that meeting and was not successful, was supposed to be a requirements workshop, then your requirements didn't move forward. So thinking meetings, which you need to really do proper requirements analysis, need very good facilitation. If your organization doesn't have that good knowledge in-house, you can even hire an external facilitator, either to help you at the start of your project or to help train your internal professionals, or both. So you learn from those external facilitators those good practices, and then gradually your internal facilitation skills become stronger. You want to introduce mentor support to junior analysts at meetings. So if you have a more junior person facilitating meeting, may be scary to them. They may fumble, they may feel less confident. As a result, maybe that meeting isn't going to be very effective. So bring a senior person to be there as a support, to help them a little bit if they get stuck, and maybe mentor them during or after, or just help them to build that facilitation muscle, right, by being there and helping them. Explore facilitation coaching. So again, bringing in a coach to teach facilitation skills can really help your internal BA practice. And emphasizing how important is facilitation for success of business analysis, right? So again, if you are a manager or if you are a senior analyst, really spending time and effort to highlight it, to share your skills, to bring attention after the meeting, maybe to do some lessons learned, so that you recognize that facilitation is really crucial. Another aspect of building a successful BA practice and fostering that BA mindset is thinking big picture and connecting what you do in business analysis activities to the overall business architecture of the enterprise, right? So think about it this way. If you engage your business analyst earlier for any change, they're basically engaging in more broad enterprise view of why do you need this change and what is this change about. So involving them in feasibility studies, cost benefit assessments. And at that stage, you actually are more involved in understanding how this change impacts other initiatives and what these multiple initiatives are supposed to achieve together. So that connection to the overall business architecture, to the overall roadmap for the organization is really valuable. Use core business architecture architects at project initiation. So if you do have business architecture function, a business architect, the diagrams that they might create actually can help you to define the scope of each individual project. They can help a business analyst starting that individual project to figure out what needs to go, where does it need to go, how does this, what I'm doing, my scope of this project fits into the overall roadmap, where are the touch points, where are the impacts, who I need to talk to. So again, your business architecture, if you do it well, can really help your project start on a stronger foundation. Encourage senior analysts to learn about business architecture. Now, not every company has an actual business architect as a position. However, someone still needs to think about how these different projects together make up the roadmap, what is the right sequencing, what are the dependencies, how to share artifacts, how to reuse analysis from one project to another. So the more your senior analysts are engaged, the more they basically are fulfilling at least part of that role of a business architect, or maybe again together they end up being a little bit of a business architecture committee in your organization, even if you don't have an official position. Consider business architect role if you don't have one. Again, of course, that depends from the size of your organization and the number of the projects and whether you truly need a full-time role for that. But if you do, if you are big enough, that may be something that your organization can get value from. In as a consequence of all this, starting business analysis early, right? Because truly, you kickstart business analysis at the highest level when you're still doing that business architecture exercise. But the earlier you involve someone with business analysis skills in planning the change, the better. Because again, going back to feasibility, to understanding the impacts, to understanding cost benefit, to clarifying the scope, to making sure the scope makes sense, all of that can make your change more successful. And business analysts, that's part of their really job description, to be able to support the organization in that. So going back to your BA practice and building that effective BA practice, what you want to do is to help your business analysts have the right information and the right experience. You want to share that information. You want to create shared repositories. You want to share best practices. You want to have some kind of a business analysis or requirements management methodology that allows you to easily share and reuse what you already have. You want to support your business analysis professionals or anyone who is involved in business analysis in your company by providing training, by sharing best practices, by giving them ability to learn skills, by helping them to get that mentorship maybe from someone more senior. So really building their business analysis muscles. You want to support proper business analysis process with its outcomes and deliverables through best practices, through templates, and also through peer reviews where different analysts can review each other's work and provide feedback. And that's another major way of fostering BA mindset. And you want to foster a BA mindset by always trying to encourage thinking the big picture, thinking about business needs, taking responsibility for analysis, not just for gathering and documenting, but responsibility for analysis, for highlighting gaps, and taking responsibility for creating that very important outcome of business analysis, which is a shared understanding of business requirements by all stakeholders. So all of these are really related back to the BA mindset principles that I've identified in my book. I will share the link with you of how to get and download this BA mindset poster with its 12 principles. If you don't have a copy in your organization, you can put it in your business analysis shared folder as one of the ways to encourage that spirit of focusing on the business problem and thinking of shared understanding of requirements as one of the main outcomes of good business analysis. To learn more, check out resources in the comments. I run business analysis mentorship circle, a corporate training. There is, of course, so many resources provided by professional organizations. There are books on the market. But more than that, think about how you consciously can support people who are involved in business analysis in your organization to help them do a better job, to value what they do, to provide them with necessary resources. And check my comments under this video for more ways to help you do that. All the best, and I'll see you in the next video.